Salve, galerinha! Já tô chegando. Uma picanha o cara tá usando, hein? Calma aí, galerinha. Mano, eu tenho quase certeza que vai morrer alguém nesse jogo por mim.
Porque meu inglês tá fluente. Eu não sei se vocês sabem, mano, mas... Nossa. Eita. Dedução, espaço de dedução. Eu devia chamar um amigo que sabe fluente, né? Mas as legendas iam sair atrasadas. Ai. Vamos usar todas as minhas habilidades fluênticas aqui. O cara toma um susto. É que Sherlock tem essa de dar tiro na própria parede. Eu quero ver se eu acho algum easter egg.
Holmes, will you stop that? You are utterly mad.
Cara, com essa porra, homem. Será que dava pra mim morrer nessa parte?
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Tô voltando.
Am I the only sane one here?
Será que saiu
I
alguma
suppose
fala aí
that
que eu
Watson
tinha
is
que
right,
fazer?
Inspector.
Ah, não,
A little
ainda não.
brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Ah, tá naquela
Peter
parte.
Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your
Assim a
time
live
and join me
caiu.
there. I have to go
Minha
through the
mãe ela
yard
ligou
first. The
seu
many
cabelo
men
de
struck
cabelo aqui e
again.
puxou.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder
Ela não
reserve.
sabia.
I'll
Então
meet
ela
you at
puxou.
Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Tá legal. Investiga o assassinato de Peter. Inspecione a cena do crime de Woodman Lee. Selecione a roupa. Select a suite to wear using your personal wardrobe and join Lestrade. Se não me engano, o quarto dele é esse da direita aqui. Isso mesmo. É igual o outro. Um pouco. Dá pra me mudar o rosto do Sherlock. Ó o cabelo que dá pra deixar. Ah não, pelo amor de Deus, tem um bonito. Ó, galera, olha como esse aqui é bonito, ó. Pera aí. Vou deixar você assim mesmo. Vamos ver óculos. E o bigodinho. Esse tá perfeito. O pior é que ele tem um bigode igual do meu, se eu deixar ele daquele jeito. Calma aí que eu não lembro onde eu tava. Aí, vai. Aí anda. Não anda mais? Eu vou deixar ele do jeito que ele veio mesmo, que tá de bom tamanho. Vamos ver as roupas. Eu tô de terno, literalmente ele tá de terno. Ô louco, aí sim. Mas não tá fazendo sentido.
My archive. I can always consult with it, if needed.
Depois ele usa esses negócios tudo aqui, só que no outro tinha uma mesa de...
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Que isso, Sherlock? Que feticheiro, hein? Taradão, hein? Mano de Deus, velho. Quem é essa pessoa, afinal de contas? Só uma pergunta. Tá, a gente conheceu uma senhorita... What?
You go along to Peter Carroll's house. Mrs. Hudson and I...
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Posso dar uma vasculhada no quarto do Sr. Watson. Ele é da guerra. Rua Baker. Baker Street é onde a gente está. Então, Woodsley seria aqui o meu objetivo atual. Eu sei que o Sherlock mora na Rua Baker. Falaram que era pra mim com Lestrade, mas como é que eu ia com Lestrade? Ele tá olhando alguém ali. Quem que ele tá olhando? Vem daí, galera. Tá
Mr.
certo.
Holmes, I'm over here.
Sr.
Come
Holmes,
on.
I over here. Estou aqui. Mas tem coisas peculiares. Johnny Lestrade, let the complete. O cara tá com a cara assustada, né? Tá legal. Eu não tenho um mapa versão miniatura do lugar. No outro não
It
tinha.
seems that the garden was well maintained.
Examinar o jardim.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Tá. O detetive me chamou, mas tem alguma coisa naquela casa ali que o policial tá encobrindo. Ah, mano, eu tô muito curioso pra olhar ali embaixo. Ó. Tem umas pegadas ali onde o cara tá olhando que leva sentido dessa cabana. Vamos conversar então, Sr. Lestrade.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Anything usual that night you when his body found is...
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
Tá legal, não tem como eu ser atrapalhado no jogo, então. Ele já dá uma resposta. Anything unusual?
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually, whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here.
Ele tinha
after
uma
his
vida
retirement.
isolada, beleza. Então é um cara que não tem muitos amigos.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he? when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy.
Falei que ia dar ruim, mano.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Pilgrimagem. Ah, mano, eu vou...
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy.
Agora se eu errar é impossível, mano.
He was different, wasn't he, when you
Se eu
first
mandar
met
do
him
meio e
upon
não
your
for do
return
meio,
from
fudeu.
Plymouth?
Porque
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
eu gostei do detalhe do rosto facial dela. Tá bonita essa moça. Mas que porra, meu parceiro.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey.
Agora
Nevertheless, I
faço.
believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Mas eu selecionei todas as opções.
Never mind. You have indeed.
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Ela é muito religiosa, pelo que aparenta ali. Ela é católica, uma Christian Catholic Woman. Uma cristã católica. Pilgrimage when she has wrong. How do you know about Plymouth? O que é Plymouth?
O que é isso aí?
Sherlock Holmes. Ah, pelo amor, né, mano? Tudo reclama. Pode jogar nenhum jogo, né? Que não seja GTA. Medidas. Não mordidas. Olha, pelo que eu li e não entendi. Vamos lá.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Eu precisava me exibir um pouco pra essa mulher. De longe ela não tá igual não.
Mr. Holmes?
Começar do início, né? Oxe, Júlio, vai tomar no banho, aí não dá pra ir direto. Dá pra mim fazer o que mais? Dá pra explorar bem? Oxe! Que porra! Ah, o R2 ele corre.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything. Mr. Holmes?
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Fica pra ver. Marca de arranhão aqui. O que eu tenho que fazer, mano? Porra, Sherlock. Aí tá difícil, hein?
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool. What a terrible way to die. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884.
Pelo que sabemos, tinha 3 aqui, ó. O outro tá numa vítima.
Harpoons for hunting whales. Peter carries boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Não tô entendendo. Ah, tá, dá pra me girar, beleza. Que porra é essa? Entendi. É assim? Eu não entendi como é que funciona esse puzzle. Eu tô vendo que ele tem um charuto aqui. O charuto tem 2 desenhos? Não tem que estar alinhado 100%, velho.
This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Tipo, eles só mexem charuto e uma folha que tem ali, fica meio complicado, né?
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was
Parece que
enjoying
ele
a
tava
drink
esperando
before he
alguém.
met his death.
Por que 2 copos? Ou será que ele tava tomando um e o assassino tomando outro?
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. The weapon JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. These abbreviations mean something, but what? This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Have you finished inspecting the crime scene?
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Vai ter que ser assim, porque eu não consigo ler.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof. You've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us. Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There is a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Mr. Holmes?
E agora?
These boots don't match the footprints.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window. We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin.
Além de invisível. Eu tenho que conversar com essa mulher mais uma vez.
Who could do such a thing?
É aí que surgem as dúvidas. E essa carroça foi movida.
Mr. Holmes?
Se ele entrou por aí. Por onde ele fugiria? talvez não tenha fugido.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Dá pra mim jogar em primeira pessoa, cara.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Eita, meu pai. É o pior detetive ao matar aqui do jogo. Um dos piores detetives
Dundee.
do Brasil.
Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin. Near...
Eu acho que a graça é jogar não em primeira pessoa. Como é que eu saio da primeira? Bora.
Who could do such a thing?
Meu pai.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Ué?
Shh. Did you hear that?
Uma criança? Bandido.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Parece que eu estou indo para Scotland Island. Scotland Island.
Mr. Holmes?
Espero se aprender uma letra até aí. Mr. Holmes.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help him?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
Pegar armário de suspeita, né?
These are the suspect's belongings.
Opa, isso aqui eu não vi não, mano.
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson. To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.M. A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Vermelho ali, ó.
Lock.
Vamos lá ver o corpo no necrotério.
Locked.
Toma Shelby Cap. Falta uma coisa que eu ainda não vi. Então ele tá passando os olhos só.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
O anel não é teu, não.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Mas ainda bem que... Falta o father e o outro de baixo.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Falta só o father alguma coisa.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner
Meu,
of the
errei
ring?
tudo.
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent. What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
meu bracinho. Eu acho que eu vou dormir. Ah, mano, não pode ser em live, velho. Pera aí. Calma aí. Ah, não sei se vai ter um filme agora. Não vai ter filme. Então, podcast. Preciso de mais pistas. Vou mostrar o corpo do cara aqui.
These are the suspect's belongings. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Eu lembro que na outra eu tive que resolver umas paradas com os números. Bagulho louco.
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Locked. Locked.
Bora? Pra perder o objetivo, velho. John Nelligan seems not to be a usual chief. Calma aí, gente. Eu tô dormindo. Xerox Romes. Que é isso? Assim.
That is not the one. That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is not the one. That is not. That is. That is. That is not. That is not the one I need. That is not. That is. That is. That is. That. That is not. That is not. That is. That is not. That is not the. That is not the one I need. That is not the one. That is not the. That is not. That is not. That is not. This is where I keep my post. This is where I keep my post. My archive. I can always That is not. That is not. That is not. Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now...
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire. My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Já resolveu primeiro, né? Então você já parou. É bem provável que ele já tenha chegado. É que eu tô tentando nessa cabana.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Galera, eu vou ter que sair. Nossa, tá apertando.
These are the suspect's belongings. These abbreviations. A handkerchief with the... a pocket. need to stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Não, Sherlock, você tava lá, caralho. Ah, mano, não sei por quê, velho. Conversei com uma arrumadinha ainda. E o jogo não faz isso.
A spot of whaling, Watson? Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Well, thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Butcher é o que mesmo? Que eu não lembro, velho. É um pub? O que é butcher?
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Eu venho aqui, ó. O que tem que fazer, gente? É, eu vou nessa mesmo. Vou dormir um pouco.